How would you like to be clear on your values and clear about your purpose? What difference would it make to your life if you backed yourself and you listen to that little voice that tells you what you really want? You know that little voice that sometimes you ignore? How would you like to shake that feeling of the ever-approaching burnout and feel happier every day, not just some days? Would you like to feel less stressed and be more content, with a clear purpose in your 9 to 5, and actually be achieving the dreams you know you deserve to? Hi there, Michael is my name, and I'm the head coach at the 8-Week Life Hack. We help solo entrepreneurs and 9 to 5 professionals who feel overwhelmed, unclear, and burnt out from their perfectionist expectations. We help them see solutions, not problems, and we help them learn to love every day of their life, even the shit ones. So if that sounds like you are in the right place. And today, I'm going to lead you through a couple of methods that will give you clarity right here, right now, on your values and your purpose. I'll even try and do it in under 10 minutes. Now I've been where you are. I was a lawyer. I was chasing that corporate dream. I was doing all the right things, all the things I was meant to do. Until one day I looked around and I thought, this is not what I'm about. This is not who I am. But like you, I had absolutely no idea where to start. And that was almost a decade ago. And since then, I've had my own journey. I've studied a master's in coaching psychology. I've done every online course you could imagine. And I've coached hundreds of people through this exact program to stop feeling lost and start feeling happy and get clear on what it is they want for their life. So get your worksheet ready and have something to take some notes with, because this next 15 minutes or so can absolutely be the beginning of you changing your life. All right, so values and purpose in under 10 minutes. Look, the first place to start is to distinguish between values and purpose, because whilst they're kind of interchangeable, they do mean separate things. Values are all about how you connect with yourself. What in the world connects with you? What character traits? What beliefs? What opinions connect with you? You know, what's the lens with which you see the world? That's what values are all about. The opinions that you believe in, the beliefs you have, the way you interact with the world. Whereas purpose is all about how you serve others. What you do with your values to go out and connect with the world. So purpose is what you give, values is what you are. And whilst the role of a purpose is pretty straightforward, there are two things I want you to remember when it comes to the role of values. One is to guide your goals, and two is to live by daily for fulfillment. Yeah? So we use values for two reasons. One, to create goals. Two, for fulfillment. So even those times when we don't reach the goals, if we've been acting on our values, we'll have a fulfilling day, have a fulfilling life regardless of the result. All right, and as we jump into these activities, there are three things that I need you to remember as we go through them. One is that we're brainstorming, yeah? So there are no wrong answers, judgment-free interactions. Don't not write something down. At the beginning, we're brainstorming, dump it all on the page. Two, that's when we review, refine, and group. Yeah, so we've got all these words, all these things that could be our values, all these things that could be our purpose. That's when we review, refine, and group and put them together. And then three, the last step, is when we'll clarify and actually choose which ones are going to be our core values. And then lastly, before we go into the actual activities, I want to talk about some common mistakes. You're about to try and come up with your values. You're about to try and come up with your purpose. It's a big deal. It's meant to be hard. It's quite an abstract idea, quite a large idea. And it's something that people have been doing for thousands of years and really not doing well. So it is going to be hard. If it feels hard, keep pushing through, keep going with it. You're going to feel uncomfortable, you're going to feel unsure. If that happens, trust me, trust the process, keep pushing through. If in your mind you're thinking, I'm just not doing it right, good, because that's how everyone feels. It feels like you're not getting it correct. And then lastly, the self-judgment. You know, there's got to be a lot of self-talk as you go through these ideas of who you are, who you want to be, what you want to do with yourself, what you value most. Plenty of self-talk. So try and reduce the self-judgment. If you're feeling self-judged, that's part of the process. All right, so it's going to be hard, but it's going to be fun. And at the end, you're going to have your values and your purpose. So we'll start off with values, and we're going to go through 3 different activities. And the way it works is we go through the brainstorming first, then we refine, and then we clarify, yeah? And the 3 activities we have for your values are 3 questions that you can ask yourself, or 3 avenues you can go down to pick your values out and start writing down some words and start brainstorming those ideas of what could be your values. So we're going to start with the idea. I want you to look around into your environment and the people that you spend your time with. Next, we're going to talk about desires and dreams. You know, what do you want in your world? And then lastly, we're going to talk about the negatives. What do you despise? And then we're going to pick the opposite. Okay, so we're starting with environment. I want you to look around your world right now, the people that you spend your time with, the places that you spend your time, and pick apart some of the things that you see. For instance, I see a lot of structure around me. Yeah, I see a lot of nature. A lot of the people that I spend time with are very healthy. A lot of people that I spend time with are very ambitious. You know, if I was to look into my office, there's plenty of self-development books. What else are we talking about? Lots of time outside. You know, lots of time with family. I spend a lot of time with people with family. A lot of my friends have families of their own. You can see even like short thoughts like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 or so words that come up that work for me and my environment. So look around where you are now and pick apart what you see. You know, if you're in an office cubicle but you've got pictures of holidays up on the wall, well then, you know, you would write that down. Or if you've got doing a lot of creative stuff and maybe you've got a sketchbook lying down, then you might put that down. Drawing, creativity, sketching. If you're always listening to music, your earpods are always in, then you might say, you know, I love music is part of your environment. Think about the people that you spend your time with. Are they happy? Are they healthy? Are they ambitious? Are they energetic? Do they bring you up? Do they bring you down? All those kinds of things. All those words matter. Right now is the brainstorming part. Put down all the words. Next, we're talking about dreams and desires, yeah? So things like, what do you want to bring into your world? If your world was perfect, what would it look like? What would you spend all your money on? What do you want to do more of? So things like, for me, it's things like holidays, you know, long-term friends. I like having friends that have been around a while. You know, maybe you want to do a marathon or some kind of physical event. Maybe you want to push yourself. All that kind of thing. Dreams and desires, you know, do you want the big house, the loving family? Do you want harbour views or to live by the beach? So on and so forth. What are your dreams? What are your desires? And what are some of the big words that could be values that come out of those thoughts and those things that you're thinking about? And then lastly, and this one's a really good one, I want you to think about the things that you don't like in the world. What are your dislikes? And then when you've written them down, work out what their exact opposite is. So what I mean by that, for me, things like, I don't like unhealthy actions. I don't like dishonest people. I don't like it when people are unfair. It really irks me when people get grammar wrong. What else have we got? You know, and then lastly, I don't really like it when people aren't supportive. So unsupportive people. You know, people that put others down. Bullies. Yeah? And so we've got a few of those words after thinking about the things that we don't like, and we go the opposite. So unhealthy, so I like well people. Well-being would be a value. Could be a value. Dishonest, so honesty could be a value. Unfair, look, it is fair, but for me it's more of an ethical thing. I already know that, so ethics could be a value. Grammar wrong, spelling smart. I like knowledge. I like people who do the effort and have the knowledge. I like intelligence. I like having intelligent conversations. And then the last one, supportive. Bullies, what's the opposite of that? I'll go with encouragement as a value. And you can see there, really quickly, we've done 3 different questions, some exercises, brainstormed, and come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, close to 30 possible values. And the next step now is that review, refine, and group. And what the idea there is to look at these values and decide which ones are like for like and which words stand out more to us, or perhaps which words don't stand out to us at all. So we can probably get rid of all of the negative ones, obviously. Well-being, it doesn't really stand out to me. Honesty, fair is similar to fair ethics, knowledge, encouragement. What have we got here? Maybe long-term friends, push yourself, marathon, your big home, hard views, no. Friends and family, maybe a little bit of that there, and probably a little bit of, what are we talking, honesty? No, that doesn't work. So you see how they're kind of the same there, yeah? And so let's go next. I've got structure, yeah. So structure's there. That could be similar to knowledge and intelligence. Structure doesn't really come in here, but you could almost say that the marathon thing might come into structure. Nature. What else have I got here? Nature. I've got outside. I've got a big home. I've got harbour views. Actually, big home would fit the family and friends. Maybe honesty, fairness, ethics things. Harbour views, holidays, maybe nature. What else we got? Encouragement. No, that doesn't work. What else? Healthy. Look, that goes to the well-being one. I'm going to put a cross through it. It is a value of mine, but it doesn't really stand out to me. Self-development, love that. So just tick. What do we got? Yeah, that's a bit of push yourself, the self-development stuff. Encouragement, ambition probably works in there as well. So we'll just leave it there. But you can see what I've done is I started off with that big brainstorm, and now I've tried to refine it and tried to group them a bit and tried to put like for like and got rid of some that don't fit me anymore. And then after that, the last step is to work out what are left and what really resonates with you as a core value. Okay, so for me, I'm going to start off with the nature, the outside one. So nature, natural is a core value. Now what's next? Honesty. Do I have any others here? Look, I'm not going to loop family and friends. I'm going to put them on their own. Family and friends, is definitely a core value. Honesty is a core value of mine. And honesty stands out more than fair and ethics, so I'm going to use the word honesty. What else have I got? Long-term friends, that fits there. I've got the push yourself and the ambition. Ambition is definitely the word that I want. Knowledge and intelligence, I'm going to go with intelligence because I know that word resonates more with me. And have I got anything else left? Kind of the self-development, the marathon thing. Look, for me, I haven't written this word down, but self-development and encouragement, for me, it's growth, yeah? It could almost be 2, but I'm just going to fit out with the 6 values here. Look, there's no certain number that you need to have. I put the 6 different hashtags and 6 different values there, but you can have 7, you can have 10, you can have plenty. If you're going above 10, if you're going above 8, you probably got too many. And if you're going below 3, you probably don't have enough. But it's around about that kind of level. Recap, brainstormed, grouped, refined, decided on what ones resonated with me the most, and my core values: nature, honesty, family and friends, ambition, intelligence, and growth. Hopefully you've got something similar in front of you after following through the activities. And then finally, we're moving into purpose. And what I want you to do is I want you to take the core values that you decided on, and I want you to try and think of them and think of how they apply to some of these questions in the idea of working out your purpose. Remembering that purpose is how you serve others. So, first question, who are you when you're at your best? When you close your eyes and you remember back and you think, who were you? What were you doing when you last felt like you were dominating? When you last felt like you were performing your best? When you last felt in flow? What were you doing? Who were you with? How were you interacting with them? So for me, it was the last conference that I spoke at. Okay. If you could help anyone, who would you help? We're really trying to target someone here. So if you could help anyone, who would you help? So for me, that's pretty straightforward. It's people that are good, but want to be great. Yeah? I really like the idea. There's so many good people out there that just don't have the skills, just don't have the help, just don't have exactly the resources they need to become that great. And I love helping those people. Next question. Who do you help and how do you help them? And quite realistically, obviously I've built on this now, but for you guys thinking at home, who do you help and how do you help them? If you're in a bank and you do mortgaging, who do you help the most? First home buyers, young parents, how do you help them? Give them the resources to buy their first home and get shelter. That would be the answer there. Who do you help and how do you help them? Perhaps you're a barista and you work in a cafe. Who do you help? The local community. How do you help them? You give them the caffeine hit in the morning so that they can kickstart their day, or so that they can have a little bit of joy in the morning, or so that they can have a break from work, or whatever the case may be. So let's just go with that one. Community. I help the local community have a break from their office. Might be the answer there. Okay, so let's go to the next one. What do you give on a regular basis without worrying about what you get back? What do you give without worrying about what you get back? Perhaps you often pay it forward at the coffee shop. It's 2 coffee references, Michael. Obviously need some caffeine. What else do you do? Perhaps you happily, soup kitchen and don't really want anything in return. Maybe you even do it for altruistic purposes. Perhaps you share quotes on Instagram. Maybe you share those inspirational quotes around to other people to try and pep up their day. Have a think about it. What do you give without worrying about what you get back? 5th question. What change do you cause to others? In your general day, when you're just going about your day, how do you impact others without really thinking about it, without really enforcing it? What change do you have to others? So for me, look, I try and inspire by example. But if someone else out there, perhaps you're a lawyer, what change do you cause to others? You remind people to think about doing the right thing. What change do you cause to others? Maybe you're in the media, and so you help people find out things that they didn't know. Maybe you help people find out the truth, media. So I gave us a couple of examples there. Media, help people find out the truth. Lawyer, reminding people to do the right thing. And then myself, I try and inspire by example. And then the last question is, if you could change the world in any single way, if you had an impact on the world and changed the world in any single way, what would you do? What change would you make? A lot of people are going to come and go, I'd cure hunger, or I'd cure COVID, or I'd do so on and so forth. There's plenty of answers. But, for me, it's quite simple. If I could change anything, I would get the world to be more ambitious. And so that would be my change to the world. But what's yours? Perhaps you'd ask the world to eat more healthily. Perhaps you do want to cure COVID, and therefore you could go down that doctor path, and perhaps that's your purpose and your service to the world. So what change would you make the world, and what would you do? And I'll just put cure COVID there as an example, or cure cancer. What change would you do? Another one here just came to me, but really good idea. Maybe you do the automated cars, right? But you do it so that they were completely safe and there was never any more car crashes. Maybe that's the change you'd make. All right, so we've taken our values, we've applied them to these questions. Who are you at your best? If you could help anyone, who do you help and how? How would you change the world? What would you do? What changes do you cause in others without trying? And what do you give without receipt? And then we've given these answers and we've spun them up. Now, if we look at all these, we can kind of gather what our purpose might be. If it was the cure COVID thing, it might be to get into medicine. If it was to, make sure people are doing the right thing, perhaps there's a purpose of law, or perhaps there's a purpose of maybe even preaching, or perhaps there's a purpose of getting people to, think about things ethically and responsibly. If you want to help anyone, good to great. Maybe that you want to be a coach or a teacher or so on and so forth. So you can see how these questions can help you work out your purpose, your service to others. So really straightforward ideas there. We worked out values and we worked out purpose. The first thing that we did is we looked at 3 different exercises, brainstormed, reviewed and clarified to work out what it is in your world, what it is within your dreams, and what are the things you don't like, and then came up with our own values. And once we got those core values, worked out what our core values are, remembering that we use them for 2 reasons. 1, to come up with our goals, and 2, to make sure that we do them daily to stay fulfilled. We use those values to kind of think about how are we going to use them, how are we going to connect with ourselves, to connect with the world, to be of service to others, and therefore coming up with our purpose. So you've begun your journey now, and no doubt you're feeling energetic, excited, and maybe even a little enlightened. But there's still that question of what now? And I get it, I've been there. Because whilst you've asked yourself some key questions now, and you've begun to build your foundations, we have to remember, each individual journey needs individual, qualified coaching guidance, which we can't do via this or any other video. No, we need to get to know one another, because every single person that I work with is unique. And to find a way to make your values and your purpose come to life, we will need to adjust your journey and your coaching experience. You see, qualified coaching guidance is the key ingredient to the 8-week life hack. That's our difference. You can always continue as you have been, trying to go it solo or with less qualified advice, and you can always repeat the mistakes you've been making. Or you can book in a call with me, see if we're the right fit, and join our members going from overworked and overwhelmed to dominating and in love with their life. A call with me is about 30 minutes. And we can Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, audio, whatever you want to do. During our chat, we find out a little bit more about one another. We find out if you're willing to do the work, and we find out if you're the right person for me to help. And then, if we are the right fit, well then great. We can begin the journey of creating a life full of meaningful achievement and meaningful fulfillment for you. Or we're not the right fit, and you've spent the last 30 minutes getting a clear understanding of your core values, and we depart as friends. There's really no downside for you. As of right now, I've got 4 remaining spots in our next program, and I'm looking for 4 members that meet our criteria. I am looking for 4 solopreneurs who know they can achieve something great with their life. They just need a hand to do it. I'm looking for 9-to-5 professionals who are going to take action if they get the right advice. I'm looking for people who want more joy and more purpose in their life. I'm not looking for people who are looking for a quick fix. I'm not looking for people who aren't willing to commit. And I'm most definitely not looking for people who are happy to simply stay where they are in their life. So if this sounds like the chance that you've been waiting for, the first step is to apply and book your call on the link below. And as I receive your application, we'll find a time to chat. And then during that chat, we'll get the momentum going. We will build your strategy. We will start to identify the changes that you need to make to be more driven, more motivated, and more fulfilled by your life. So if you feel like this is the right thing for you, click that link below and apply. See if you qualify, follow the instructions on the next page, and book your call with me today. With some qualified coaching and a little touch of accountability, we can get clear on what you want for your life, and you can feel fulfilled every single day.